This single email inbox tool has saved me hundreds of hours. As a founder, I'm always looking for ways to buy back my time and make myself more efficient so I can focus on the most high value ROI actions in my business. I've been using Fyxer for about a month and a half, 2 months. I'm not even sure if they have an affiliate program, so this is truly an optimization hack. Now, there are multiple ways to do this, whether you build a custom tool using N8N or things like that. But really what I'm doing is using AI to optimize my inbox. So I'll show you the tool that I found because I didn't want to start off by building something if there's already a better option. And Fyxer might be that better option. It has been for me. So if you jump in here, it's Fyxer.com, simple pricing, pretty affordable. Again, look at this as an investment in your time. I am reducing the amount of emails I'm getting by hundreds of emails. So basically, I'm gonna show you how I set it up and how it works because I do some unique things in my inbox. First off, I have like 20 inboxes route to the same one, which was one of the issues. But what Fyxer does is it goes through, it reads my emails, it organizes them into marketing, into spam, puts them into all these different categories: needs action, needs reply, FYI. And then with ones that it thinks it needs to respond to, it drafts a response using my knowledge base, which is key because then it's drafting a response based on how I would most likely respond to it. And sometimes I can just hit send, which is the coolest thing because I'll have a whole conversation back and forth and my team's literally talking with AI. But the cool thing is it knows what I was going to say, or pretty close to it. And then other times I still have to rewrite it and edit it, of course. It took me a couple days to get the settings correct. One of the other cool features that I like about this tool is that it links with your Zoom and your meeting calendar AI. It jumps into calls with you basically, and it will listen to those calls. And then based on the call, it'll draft a response to everyone that was on that call. And it works like any of those other call recording AI tools. So you get the actual recording, you can have it send the recording to other people. But what I like is it drafts that next action step email for me right in my Gmail inbox. And that's one of the key things is I didn't have to really use another tool. It all works in Gmail, which is where I was already doing my work. So in here, I ended up switching to the Pro version only because of the knowledge base that it added, and I wanted to get rid of their branding. So a few tips in here. Obviously, you have to integrate your email. Like I said, I have a whole bunch routed to one main one, and one of my issues was my main email is different than my main calendar. So I routed everything to my main email and then to my main calendar, and I was able to do both in there, which I liked because I was worried I wasn't going to be able to. And then I integrated with Zoom, and the rest pretty much just works. I set up some information in my organization just about my company and added an image so that way when it jumps into Zoom, it is my brand. I hate seeing other people's brands because you're literally giving advertisement away to them. I'd rather spend all the money and keep that. But then in here, what we're doing is it has my calendar, which is nice. You get to set what you want to do. So I have it hide meeting updates, awaiting replies, action, meaning I already did it, and marketing materials. And then I have it go to my inbox is to reply, FYI, comments, and notifications. Those all stay in my inbox for me to manage. Now, one of the things that you have to do here is I had mine not on that conversation thread setting. So if you go to Google and then settings, and then I think it's like conversation view on, I had to turn that on, which that in itself, I was doing it the other way for specific reasons. I don't like the way the conversation thread looks. However, I have noticed that my inbox is way more compressed now. So if I'm stuck in a chain, which I try to get out of, then it will reduce the amount of emails in my inbox. So that alone was a small little time-saving hack. Even though I don't like the way it's presented to me, it's time-saving. And so that's the key here. So I have a few other settings that you can just kind of skim through. I did have to link all my other aliases or inboxes, and I don't have to pay for these, which is great. So that's really helpful as well. And then you can set the sensitivity to when it's going to respond, when it's going to mark things as marketing. So I just like to show how I set this up. So again, it did take me some experimenting, and I'm sure it'll be a little different for you as well, but wanted to give this to you. Now, drafting is one of the things that I think is very cool. You come in here and you can set up basically your signature and then your information about your company to help give it some drafting information. I think you can get pretty long here, 1,000 characters max. And then later, we'll show you how you build in your custom knowledge base. I did link it to meetings. Again, that's so it can join those meetings for me. And then, like I said, it will record them all here. I was already using a tool for this. I was already using a tool called MeetGeek, which my company still uses. So I use both now, but I think it's still pretty cool. And then basic settings here, I'll just scroll through really quickly. I don't like having automatic notifications go out to anyone. And so this is kind of how I set it up. Scheduling, same thing here. They have their own, so I haven't even looked at what this looks like. They have their own scheduling link. So it kind of replaces Calendly for you, which I think is also really cool. So let's see. So I haven't tested this before, and this automatically links. So I think it adds a description automatically based on the event. So it's like smart in your inbox. It'll give them some smart choices. So one of the things it says is it's not going to give them 100 options, like everything in their calendar. It gives them a few. And that makes you look busier and less overwhelming. And so originally I was like, oh, I don't need another calendar tool. But to be honest, for my email back and forth, especially if it's automatically appearing, I'm cool with it. Then we're going back in here, your files and knowledge base. I've done a whole bunch of videos on AI knowledge bases. I think that this is super critical. If you don't have one, start building one. But this is what it looks like. I uploaded some of our company docs, specifically around sales communications and style guide. So that way it knows how to respond in a sales situation, which is a lot of my back and forth. I don't always do sales, but those are the ones that I really care how it looks. I haven't used this, but you can do an internal chat with your own emails. And then a few other settings. That's just the basic settings we already went over. So that's really it. And then in Gmail. So like it said, it works directly in Gmail. Go back to my main one. So you'll notice this came in, it automatically added a tag. So it said needs response or respond to, and then there's different tags and I'll put them in these folders. And that's what I really like is it's not deleting like the marketing ones, and you can come and see 200 marketing emails. I do use another tool that already eliminates a whole bunch of marketing tools and delays when stuff gets sent to me. It's called Mailman. I like that one as well. I don't know if you really need both. I would just probably stick with this one, but you can see all the marketing that it's removed from my inbox and how much clutter that is just in my day-to-day to make me more efficient. And what you'll notice is you go back to my main inbox, I have one email. I'm really big on inbox zero. I try to keep my inbox at zero. It's very difficult, but it also becomes a disruption throughout the day to keep my inbox at zero because then I'm walking away from important things. So to have this streamline my inbox, make me more efficient, and help draft my replies is a key piece of how I like to optimize my business. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to learn better ways to optimize your business or get a whole bunch of freebies, there's a link down below to get access to some of my key tools. Thank you.